Today, we're going to talk about something really powerful. This idea that you can use tiny, almost effortless actions to totally change how your brain deals with anxiety.
All right, let me ask you something, and I bet a lot of you can relate to this. Ever feel like your brain is stuck on a worry loop? You know, like one of those songs that get stuck in your head, but instead of a song, it's just this cycle of anxious thoughts that refuses to stop? So, why does that even happen? Well, it all starts with what we can call the brain's worn path. Okay, so think about it like this. Imagine a path in a forest. The more you walk down that same path, the deeper the groove gets, right? Well, anxious thoughts work exactly the same way. They create these really deep, well-worn pathways in your brain. And your brain, it's all about efficiency, so it just naturally takes that familiar route. The key thing here is your brain isn't broken. Not at all. It's just doing what's easy, taking the path of least resistance. But here is the really, really cool part, the empowering part. Even though those old, worn-out paths are there, your brain has this incredible built-in ability to carve out brand new ones. Let's get into what is basically its superpower. And yeah, that superpower has a name: neuroplasticity. And look, this isn't some sci-fi concept. It's real, proven science. It's your brain's natural ability to reorganize itself, to literally rewire itself. It can form new connections, change its own structure, all based on what you do, what you think, and what you experience. This is the biological proof that change is always, always possible. I mean, this idea completely flips the script on how we think about our own minds. For the longest time, the old belief was that your brain was pretty much fixed after you grew up, like it was set in stone. But the new science, it shows the exact opposite. Our brains are malleable, they're plastic. We can actually reshape them on purpose. And that, right there, is a total game changer. Okay, so if the brain can change, the big question is, how do we actually do it? And the best part? It doesn't take some massive heroic effort. The secret? It's all about the power of tiny habits. And this is really the most important thing to get. Reshaping your brain, it's not about one giant push. It's not a one-and-done thing. Real, lasting change comes from small, consistent behaviors. We're talking about simple, repeatable actions that basically send a little signal to your brain telling it, hey, time to build a new road over here. So what does that look like? It really boils down to a super simple 3-step process. Step 1, notice what's triggering the anxiety. Step 2, choose a new, and I mean incredibly simple, action to do instead. And step 3, this is the magic ingredient, you just repeat it consistently, every single time that trigger shows up. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world, day to day? Let's get practical and look at some of these habits in action. All right, this is where it all really starts to make sense. So check out this first one, the trigger, that negative self-talk starts up. You know what I'm talking about? The old path, the worn-out groove, is to just spiral down into self-criticism. The new tiny habit, just take one deep, slow breath. That's it. That's all it takes to interrupt that old pattern. Or what about this one? You're totally overwhelmed by your to-do list. Sound familiar? The old habit is to just give up, procrastinate, maybe start scrolling on your phone. The new tiny habit, just write down just one next step. See? Or maybe you're worrying about the future, imagining all the worst-case scenarios. Instead, the new habit is to just stop and name 3 things you can physically see right now. Each one of these is a tiny, deliberate choice that starts to carve out a new, calmer pathway for your brain. And when you start doing this, it leads to a really powerful realization. You have so much more control than you probably think. You can actually consciously step into a new role. You get to become the architect of your own mind. Yeah, so it's not about just sitting around and passively waiting for anxiety to magically disappear. It's about actively building something new. With these small, consistent actions, you are literally constructing a whole new mental framework for yourself, one that's built on a solid foundation of emotional stability. You are the architect. So as we wrap things up here, I just want to leave you with this question. Remember, this is not about changing your entire life overnight. It's about choosing one small thing you can do differently. So what new tiny path will you start creating for your brain, starting today?